Formula One has never been so hot until Paula Malai Ali came on board in 2006. After trying to pin her down for a year, I finally managed to get her into Studio V, and let's see what she's up to these days. Hi, Paula.
Hi, Sheila. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for coming. It's been a long time, since you last came back to KL. So how have you been?
I've been learning a lot. It's been about 3 years since I actually moved to Singapore. Life is extremely different. I feel like I've become a different person. I don't want to say I've evolved and I'm more mature. I think I've certainly changed, and my career has taken a definite 360 turn. And I really had quite an interesting 3 years.
So what is this thing about Formula One and hot babes?
When you think about Formula One, I think it's always been synonymous with lifestyle, with glamorous people, with sexy people. And it's interesting because over the last, I would say as long as maybe 6, 7 years, apparently the figures of female viewers have really been on the up. And I think, yeah, there's something to be said about a guy looking at a girl on TV, but I think women also like to see women on TV. And I mean, I'm really enjoying my time doing this show. I must confess, it took a while for A, Star Sports viewers to get used to seeing me, and B, for them to let me feel like I was credible. So I had to kind of earn my stripes.
How hard has it been from a VJ to a major sports personality?
It's been hard. It's been a lot of humble pie. I think I had to learn a lot. I had to kind of just give myself a paradigm shift and realize that, nothing is inconquerable. At one point I was like, I don't know if I can do this. This kind of is a little bit overwhelming. And it was difficult. I think now I'm just kind of psychologically accepting it more, owning it. It's my 3rd year doing Formula One, and I think if I'm not gonna have a sense of proprietorship over it now, it's never gonna happen, So you've kind of got to give yourself the mojo and know that you can do this.
Well, do you get bullied a lot by the boys?
No, because if they bully me, I'll bully them right back. I just don't believe in that kind of unnecessary male-female rubbish. They know that either they'll tease me, they can tease me, I'm all up for that, but don't bully me, because I'll bite.
How is your day like, on a race day? I mean, how early do you start work?
It's a long day, so let's, if you're talking about a European race, race day, the pre-race show starts at 7. So Alex Jung and myself, Alex will probably get into the studio at about 5, but I'll meet with my producer, Sanjeev Pala, at about 3 o'clock. We'll run through our rundown, decide, what our kind of feel is for the show, and then I'll look through the various VTs that we've got to go through, decide how I want to intro them, and just create the story. Like last race was a British Grand Prix, and obviously all the off-track politics were our main kind of gist of the show. So, it's just a full-on, maybe 3 or 4 hours prep. We do our race day, the race starts, and then I'll come on at the very end after a show called Checkered Flag, and we'll do some extra filler shows.
So basically what time does work
Like
finish?
11:30. So you actually leave the studio, you're like, wow, I totally put in a good day's work.
Who's your favorite F1 driver? Who's the hottest?
Nico Rosberg. I will say that without a pause. I think he's a very pretty boy. I mean, he's not the best driver on the grid. Doesn't matter. If you want to be shallow, Nico Rosberg.
What about Lewis Hamilton and the likes?
I mean, I think there's an interesting saying, I might get it wrong. You can tell more about a man, not from his success, but from his losses. And last year, obviously, he was the pin-up boy of Formula One because he was on a winning streak and he was totally owning it from his year before. This year, he's in a kind of a bit of a box of a car. It's not performing. And I think originally this year, he was a bit petulant. He was a bit sullen. He was kind of a bit of a bad loser. But he seems to be growing up. And I know that sounds so patronizing, but he is a young boy. And I think considering he's having such a diabolical year, I take my hat off to him. It's difficult. Defending world champion, really barely scoring points.
Do you think we'll ever have a female F1 driver?
I really do. I don't see why not. There's a lady called Danica Patrick who drives in the Indy Series now, and there has been kind of a buzz that she may make, her F1 debut next year, given all this budget caps, smaller teams, more independent teams can take part. I mean, Jensen Button said her boobies are going to get in the way. I didn't make that up. He said that. Lewis Hamilton thinks that women are a force to be reckoned with. Why not?
Cool.
If they're little and they can physically take the pressure of the car, those G-forces up to 5 or whatever, 4.5, why not?
Cool. Which is your favorite F1 circuit in the world?
I think Sepang is an awesome circuit to watch as a Formula One fan, and I've also actually driven on it really badly. So I know that, I understand, and I've been told that the design of it, the Herman Tilke's design has been really quite interesting. And if you see it in the picture, it's like, whoa, that's kind of weird. I like his circuits. They're modern, and they seem quite difficult. Then you've got your street circuits. I love the Singapore night race. I just think it's awesome. I think it's the most beautiful thing. So I think actually at the moment, if you've got a permanent track, I do think Sepang is up there, technically speaking, for the drivers. And then you've got the Singapore night race, which is just stunning.
I believe you. I mean, are you a speed demon yourself?
No, no way. I've been offered, I do another show called Engine Block, which is just a motorsport magazine-based show. And we have motocross riders coming in. We've got drivers like with Formula Drift. And they always say, get in the car. I'm like, do you want to back off? No. And of course, my producer's like, just do it. It's great television. I'm like, I really wish I could be that girl that loves it. But I'm actually scared. And I was made to go on a motorbike just a few weeks ago. And I just was so miserable. I sweated in places I didn't even know existed. I was so scared. It was horrible, horrible. So I'm not a speed demon on any level.
How fast can you go on a highway?
I could get myself in trouble. I mean, I don't know, maybe 90. What is the speed limit in Malaysia?
90.
Yeah.
Okay, I came to know that you like the smell of petrol. Is that true?
That makes me sound a bit weird, doesn't it? I do. I don't know why. I remember when I was a little girl, we'd go back to England to my mum's place, and I'd love the smell of petrol. It smelled different in England. I was like, oh, this is great. Mum was like, get in the car, don't breathe. It's a great smell. I mean, you don't want it for too long. But it's a really good kind of guttural smell with absolutely no notes apart from fumes. It's just cool. That does make me sound weird, I know.
No, it's practically normal. Okay, I have to ask this because a lot of fans have been asking. Yeah. Are you back in the dating game?
I am back in the dating game. It was interesting. I should have really thought about this before I got in here. It's been a long time. It had been a long time since I'd been on a date. And then obviously in Singapore, it's the start of a new life. You meet new people. And then I remember going on my first date and I was like, God, I feel really nerdy. I feel really weird. I was like, feel like really uncomfortable, I didn't want to believe that it was a date because it puts a lot of pressure. So I think the word date is kind of gross. I don't like it. I'm like, we'll catch up. But it's been, you learn a lot about yourself as a woman again, which has been very, very interesting.
Okay. Has any of the F1 drivers ever tried to chat you up?
No,
okay.
Damn it, no. I did try my darndest to get Nico Rosberg's attention in Shanghai. He was at this bar and I was there and I was trying to be cool, but Alex was with me and he was like, you're being a real groupie, stop it. I was like, I know, right? This is just embarrassing. So, because I interview a lot of them, I'd like to keep it at that. I'm not big on taking photographs because I think you interview a driver, then you get your camera out, it kind of makes you look a bit like a
groupie?
Like a groupie, and it's like, I hope that I'll be interviewing them again at another track. So you just want to keep this kind of semblance of professionalism, you know what I mean? I mean, they're cute and they're young, I'm all over it, but that's my work. I mean, if they want to marry me, I'm fine, it's not a problem.
Cool, well said. Is there anything else that you would like to say to your fans here in Malaysia who've not seen you in a while?
It's lovely to be back in Malaysia. It's nice to feel that I haven't been entirely forgotten. I mean, obviously, Star Sports does reach Malaysia. No, I mean, there's this amazing thing called Facebook as well, which is just kind of brings all your friends together and has brought some fans together. And I still find it really quite awesome that people are still rooting for me on some level. I think that's really cool.
Do you actually miss music? I mean,
I do. I miss doing the junkets. There was a lot of traveling with Channel V. you know, a lot of trips to LA, a lot of trips to Tokyo, and meeting artists and talking to actors. That was a kind of a very sexy part of my life as well. And I would really show off. I'm going to go to LA, I'm going to interview whoever I was going to interview, you know. It made me sound really quite solid. I miss that, you know, but I think VJing is one thing that you need to walk away from and know when your time is up. And that time for me was when I turned 30. It was important to just leave it with a great energy and a great memory, you know.
So how long do you think you're going to stay on as a sports personality?
Well, this is the beauty about working at a channel called ESPN and Star Sports. It's really a channel that you can grow with, you can evolve. Your audience actually like to see a more mature presenter. So sure, there are some shows when it can be more of an eye candy thing. It can be a bit more glib, a little bit more kind of a more relaxed way. And then you've got Formula One, which I think really does command a strong anchor, somebody that really, you know, is taking it as seriously as the fans want you to, because you can't get in the way of a sport fan and their sport, and you cannot disrespect it. And I learned that, you know. So this is a job I think I would like to believe I can grow with.
Thank you so much. Well, that's the time that we have with Paula. Be sure to catch her every day on Star Sports. I'm Noorsila Majid reporting for Galaxie magazine, and don't forget to read more about Paula in the upcoming magazine. That's July 15. Thanks. Stay tuned.